is anyone not going to talk about how Grow Garden went from 20 million players to 2 million players to 200,000 players, and now it's at 40,000 players? Grow Garden basically lost 99.9% of its player count. And well, if I had to put it into words, it's basically on it's basically dead as 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 any other game. And I don't see it continuing much longer. However, one game I do have hope for. That remember Piggy? Yeah, yeah, that one game that that literally blew up in 2020, starting lots of memes. But now I just really don't see anyone talking about it. However, this game is going to release an RPG, an open world experience, shooter game, whatever you like to call it, called Piggy Intercity. And I'm really hoping for that. This this game could either this new game could either make or break Piggy forever. Keep in mind, this game had over 500,000 players, and now they're at around 20,000. That's a That's a 95% decrease in players. Oh, and this game also beat Pet Sim 99, which is another game that used to get several players, having around 400, 500,000 players, and now they're at 20,000 as well. This game, this was the this was the sequel of Pet Sim X, which is dead, which is unfortunate because this game had 9 million visits. What? Pet Sim 99 is still going, but it's pretty much on it. But as well as Piggy, it needs something good to keep it going. A lot of classic games just become forgotten like that. It's really not good. The same goes for another classic game, Doors. Yes, again, a game that used to have lots of players, but again, still at only 20,000. So a lot of these old Roblox games that were popular in the past now have only around 20,000 players, maybe even less. Yeah, Build a Boat is an for treasure is an example. A classic game in the past now having around 20,000 players. More 20,000 players. Rainbow Friends is another example. Yes, again, another game which blew up in the past but now have only around 20,000 players. Tower of Hell is another. Am I getting tired? I'm getting tired of saying this. So yeah, a lot of these classic games with 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 the millions of players now only get around 20,000. Prison Life is another example. The same can go for and now it's starting to happen and now I think Grove Garden is at this situation where we used to get a couple 100,000 players and now it's slowly getting towards 20,000. This one is actually at a risk of dying because, like I said earlier, this game used to have 20 million players, and getting to 20,000 players would mean that and getting to 20,000 players would mean that the game is officially dead. Because at the time Grow Garden was at its peak, the updates were getting 20,000 players, no, 20 million. The game got 20 million players, and they were breaking record after record. But now they have around 40,000 players. If this if when they reach 20,000 players, I think this I think this will be the start of another trend. Games that used to have games that were popular in the past now having around 20,000 players. I'm getting tired of saying 20,000 so much. The most popular example is Piggy. Yes, a game that used to have 400, 500,000 players, now at 20,000 players. We can prove. I'm tired of saying this. A lot of these games very popular are now around 20,000 players. And the next game, which I think this will happen. Oh yeah, and there's another popular example to this, and that being Slappos. Yep, another game with 20,000 players. When back in its prime, it had thousands, above 20,000 players. However, I have one question for you guys. What game do you think this will happen to next? Well, there's only one game out of the several hundreds that have already gone to 20,000 players, which I think is going to happen to next. Steal a brain rot. Right now, around 500,000 players compared to the 25 million they used to get in the past. Wow, sometimes. Wait, how many players do they have? 471,000 compared to the 25 million they used to get. That is a 19 that is a almost a 95% decrease in players, which is not looking good for Steel Railroad. Soon this game will reach a point where it only gets 20,000 players. And the same could happen for several other games, but many others, which were popular in the past, now have less than 20,000 or even 10,000. Take Look at a pizza place, for example. At its prime, it was gathering several other players. Now it's around 8,000 players, maybe even less. This game still does well, but not as well as Piggy, Pet Sim X, Please Donate, Slap Battles, all these other games which have around 20,000 players. Well, look at a pizza place downgraded even more. The same could happen to a lot more players. The same can happen to a lot more games. However, there is one thing I need to check first. Remember Dead Rails? I don't think they will last much longer. Yep. Wait, 35,000? I swear this game used to get 10,000 players. Ah, whatever. So you see, a lot of these games blow up and then they decrease to 20,000 players, which is really not good. So I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. Do you think that this will happen to Steel Brain Rot? Maybe 99 Nights? No, I doubt this will happen to 99 Nights in the Forest. They have they have several players, and is basically the most popular game. Yeah, 700,000 players. Goodbye.